DPM, you mentioned in your wrap-up speech that all around the world, during this crisis, there's been a flight to leadership, right? So how might this translate in terms of a mandate for your government?
Well, I think we will have to let Singaporeans decide. But I think beyond the election, the really critical issue for all of us is how do we bring our society together to cope with this period of massive changes. You have a sudden shock that has shocked the system significantly and across many fronts. The healthcare front, so that we have to find new ways to protect life. The economic front, because the economy has been so dampened by this COVID-19, and as well as the geopolitical front. In fact, geopolitics has not become less pronounced, but in fact more pronounced. And I'm rather concerned that we are not having the global leadership to deal with this. And I do think that multilateral institutions, whether it's the WHO, the IMF, or the World Bank, or regional banks like the ADB and the AIB, will have to rethink their roles and to see what can do in order to bring parties together. What we are seeing now is different groups of people starting, like-minded countries coming together and say, let's better band together and pursue our agenda. So I think there are a number of significant changes that are going on. We have to deal with a global front. We have to deal with our economic front. We have to deal with our social front. So the election is really about direction setting. I see it's not just this one election, but I see significant changes that we need to make, significant challenges that we need to overcome, and significant opportunities, not in the next 3 to 6 months, but in the next 5 to 10 years. These are changes that will define Singapore in the future. So if COVID-19 is a test of a generation, the next 5 to 10 years will be a test of how our generation overcome this test of a generation and emerge stronger. So I would say that beyond party politics and elections, really I hope that Singaporeans will focus on this one issue. How do we stay together as one people? And in that regard, I must commend Mr. Vikram Singh for saying in Parliament that partisan politics should take a back seat, that we should have a unity of purpose. And I think that is good, for a responsible, for a party to be responsible and take that view. Unfortunately, it's not the case for all parties, because there are parties that are looking at, well, look, this thing was not well done, that thing was not well done, and so on. This is a government that has not done well in this. Now, there is a time and place to look back and see what can be done. But right now, you are in the midst of a major battle on many fronts. And all our people and all our leaders in every segment of our society must, first and foremost, look forward. What is ahead of us? What are the dangers in front of us? What are the opportunities in front of us? Let us focus our minds on the coming months and days and months and the future. Now, there is value in looking back if we say, well, is there something positive is there something that we can do better that will aid us in this forward movement? But it is not a time to do accounting and fault finding, because I think that is, to me, a distraction from what you need to do going forward. And for that reason, I say I welcome any good suggestions about how we might do better in this better. Right? I'm very open to good ideas. You know my style. As I started the Singapore Conversations, and we have launched Singapore Together. And this is COVID-19 is an important occasion for us to reinforce Singapore Together. And so if you said we should really look beyond this, but really about the future of Singapore. Yeah. How the Singapore come together to build the future of Singapore and to rebuild structures which has been damaged by this gale force wind.